go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome, welcome. This is episode 29 of the Hold That Show. We are live on a Saturday. Life happens. We may be Friday next week or Saturday, who knows. But it's another episode. I am your host, Abdalayini. We're going to be talking about, yes, the big things. It's the run into the season. It's title talk time. And obviously the CL draw for a few laughs. Before we do that, co-host, introduce yourself.
Yeah, man, it's Luke here. Obviously, we got screwed last week. But it is what it is. We've been getting screwed every single game, to be fair, throughout this whole season. But here we are, still fighting for the title. Shows the mentality of the boys, and I respect it. I rate it. Obviously, Europa League, easy breeze. And then, yeah, Europa League draw. Looks like it could be an easy one again, which is good. But I'm interested in that CL though. Those CL fixtures are looking tasty still. So yeah. Let's get straight into it, man.
All right. Let's get my stuff out the way quickly. Um, wait. I got to get this camera angle right. It's looking nice. Just like my boy said last week. First Sons, go get your, go get it. Yeah, in all colors. This is a one-on-one for me though. This is a special edition. So if you want that special edition stuff, you gotta pay a bit extra. But all colors. No, I'm joking. Not all colors, but yeah, there's limited colors, limited styles. But you know, hit up First Sons, see what you can get. Anyway,
We ain't getting paid for it though. Just letting you guys know we're not getting paid for it.
uh, but we move to my team now. Before we get to the big business, we'll talk about my team. Conference League, Europa League business next season, hopefully. Um, a good win, a good win. I would say a good win against Newcastle. First half, for the first time, our first half was worse than our second half, which is it was surprising to me. But yeah, our first half wasn't that great. Um, I would say all of our goals were great individual goals, but first half we score first. Played all right. We played all right in the first half, bit here or there, but a lapse of defending, a lapse of trust for Newcastle's first goal. Um, the problem with our team at times is defensively we have bozo moments. I think collectively we need to be a bit more astute when it comes to the defensive side of the game, because that allowed for Newcastle to get back into the game with the Isaac chance, and he's just a clinical finisher. I would say this for our first goal, Jackson with a lovely delicate touch from the Palmer shot, and he did mean it. So for anyone thinking he didn't, he meant that 100%. And half time we're going in 1-1, and you're thinking, okay, is this gonna be another game where we lose it? I'm frustrated. I'm thinking, nah. But for once, Poch made the right tweaks. He took too long to make certain substitutions, but he made the right tweaks. And then the second half, um, a lovely pass ends up into Cole Palmer and touch and finish. And that's sometimes what you need. You need a guy that's just willing to shoot it straight away. And you get your luck, you get your moment from that, and he scored a brilliant second goal. But Enzo was poor. Enzo was poor today. I think Paul was poor in the game. I think a couple of our players were poor. Enzo was poor. Conor Gallagher didn't do much apart from that assist, his assist as well. And the third goal, I would say, Mudryk, after coming on, and to be honest, he should have came on at half time because Sterling wasn't doing much. I'll be honest with you. I think the fact that he's still playing is a joke to me after what he did the previous game. But Mudryk came on and he had the third, and what a goal, man! Obviously, he took it off the bum that is Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher didn't know what was happening. Wiggled his way through, got past the keeper, slotted it in. Defender had no choice but to kick it, but to try and block it, but it was already in. And yeah, 3-1, you're thinking, yeah, we're cruising. Good win, good second half performance. Right subs for the first time. Second half looking better than the first. And then, and the fact of the matter is, Cucurella had a good game, but the one thing he does a lot is he likes to move up when it's not necessary. He didn't need to do that. And he gets spun like a Beyblade, like Coquelin back at the with Eden Hazard. I just had to put that in there. And yeah, that spin leads to the that leads to their second goal, and what a strike. What's the brother's name? I can't remember his name. The wild hairline, but yeah. Murphy, that's it, Murphy. I think he spins Cucurella, and then he just whaps it top bins. And I think for both the goals that we concede it's just defensive lapses of judgment, and maybe we need to improve in that left back area at some point. But overall, great game, a good win, and we just move on to the cup game tomorrow. We have to beat Leicester. No ifs, buts, or maybes, and then hopefully, if we can avoid Liverpool till the final, then we have a chance of winning this FA Cup. Because I believe that's the only way we're getting Europe. Because we don't have the consistency to get Europe. I think, even though the next 3 games are very winnable games. We got Burnley, United, then Sheffield. Burnley and United at home, Sheffield United away, and those 3 should be wins. I don't trust my team actually and my manager to get the job done in those 3 games straight. What I do trust is that we can win trophies when unexpectedly. That's the Chelsea DNA in the last 20 plus years, to win something when we don't deserve to. So this FA Cup could be something that gets us into Europa League and gets us that Jordan sponsorship. Got the hat, just in case, because future might be looking bright if we can get that Jordan sponsorship. Get that drip drip. We'll be the drip drip club. We'll be everything Arsenal wanted to be. All these years, Jordan never even talked to Arsenal. They talked to us. Yeah, drip drip. Anyway, before we move on to title talk, Luke Adonis, do you have anything you want to add?
I mean, I firstly want to say Sterling has got a lot of taxes on his head, because for man to go into another game and do what he did for a 3rd time again. How this guy is starting matches, I do not know. Like, he could have squared it. Mudryk was on. Like, Jackson was on. Like, what is he thinking in situations like this? What are you thinking? Because doing stuff like this can cost you the game. Like, the first 2 times he's done it, it costed Chelsea the game. He's lucky that obviously Chelsea managed to win, because Newcastle was so poor. But imagine if Newcastle were on form. Like, we probably would be sitting here discussing Chelsea losing again. Marjorie would be losing his head. Like, I don't know how he's getting away with this. Like, I messaged Marjorie, but I was like, Marjorie, man did it again. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. In situations like that, I just don't get it.
Yeah, Palmer was just there. Just pass it. Like, it's like that video. Sterling, just pass it. Sterling, just pass it. Sterling, just
literally.
Pass it. Yeah.
I feel like, to me, he thinks that he's the Don Dada, but he's not. He's not good at 1v1s. He's never been good at 1v1s. So why does he think that in 1v1 situations he'll be able to bag, especially when he doesn't have the technical ability or even the composure to round a keeper? Maybe his early years at Liverpool he could do that because he used to, but he doesn't do that now. And secondly, my man's taking this Harry Kane thing literally because Harry Kane didn't pass to him in the internationals. So a man thinks, oh, I'm gonna do that every single time when I'm in a position. Yeah, I get it, but at the end of the day, like free the guys, like let them let. The amount of points that Chelsea dropped in that situation. But anyways, let's move on because I'm seeing rumors that he's first on the chopping block, on top of the chopping block of being sold anyway. So like goodbye, man. I don't know why he got brought in anyway. My man's Liverpool made a good decision in not going after him, and if Liverpool isn't going after him, then I don't know why Chelsea went after him. I get it. He's got trophies. I get it. He's like should be in his prime, so he should be there. But nah, man. Like City got rid of him for a reason. Chelsea didn't need to go after him. But anyway, we move. With the match now, the first half was so erratic, and I just felt like both teams were very nervous. It was very cagey. No one wanted to step up, you know, like players were very nervous on edge. Possession of the ball was getting turned over too many times. No one was willing, or no team was willing to construct passes together. Like it was just very poor game of football from both teams. Luckily, you had a player that was willing to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and that was Cole Palmer. Again, in his natural position, being able to drift infield from the right. I said he should be playing that cam position, not Conor Gallagher, but he was able to pick up the ball from the cam position and cause havoc. And that's what he was doing all game. Find his spaces in the pocket to create damage to Newcastle's defense. Dan Burns did not know what to do that whole game. Man was gassed out after 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Obviously, that's an area that Newcastle need to address. Left back. But Chelsea had Newcastle on skates in the second half. It was a fantastic performance. The young G stepped up. When you expect someone like Sterling to be stepping up, Cole Palmer stepped up. Nicholas Jackson had a fantastic game. You know, he was everywhere. It was probably one of his best games in that jersey. And it seems like he's starting to find form. He's starting to find confidence, and he's not letting these missed chances derail him like it was in the beginning of the season. I feel like he's starting to believe in himself a lot more, like Darwin Núñez. Like he's starting to believe in himself now, which is good because in this latter stage of the season, you need your striker to be just taking those chances or finding them in the positions so that they're able to take the chances or help everybody up in and around them. Like you don't need your striker to be devoid of confidence or they missed a chance so they have their head down. And it's good that he's not letting that affect him. So yeah, it was a good team performance from Chelsea and a good individual performance from Chelsea. Obviously, certain individuals let the team down, i.e. Sterling, but you guys still managed to come away with a win. And to be fair, when you assess the whole game, Chelsea were gonna be winners anyway, especially in the second half. Fair play to Isak. I think he's a predator, and if someone doesn't come knocking on his door soon, he feeds off of scraps, and you need a striker that can do that. For a striker to feed off scraps and still bag goals, imagine what will happen if he actually had the service in and around him. He'd be a killer. And I think he's someone that Arsenal should be looking at. Arsenal need a striker. He's someone that Arsenal should be looking at. United should be looking at. I would have said Liverpool if Darweezy wasn't performing this season, but he is. So, you know, Isaac is a stone cold killer. And it's good to see that he's performing in this league. I think he's such a gem. And for Newcastle to pick him up, I think they need to start performing soon because he's someone that clubs are going to be fishing around very soon if he carries on in the form that he is. He was the difference maker for Newcastle in that game, but he wasn't always getting the service required, which is why they weren't. he wasn't able to create the space for himself to score and get Newcastle the winner. I think Jacob Murphy did good. Um, I think he did fantastically well when he came on. I think he was obviously Newcastle's live wire. The bright moments, the good moments that Newcastle did have came from him. I think his goal, he took that very well. Um, from long range. There's nothing that Petrovic could have done in that situation. Um, and there were some good moments there from Newcastle, but overall, I think Chelsea just performed very well. They wanted it more. They were hungry. Um, and Sterling should be ashamed of himself, to be honest. And I think the next game, the fact that Modric came on and he showed glimpses of his brilliance, I think his quality has never been in question. I just think it's the consistency has always been the issue for him. But I just think he's probably a player that potentially is a bench player to come off the bench when players are tired in and around him. He can use his pace to obviously get beyond teams, get beyond defenders. But in saying that, Sterling's not really holding himself accountable in his performances week in, week out. So I probably would say maybe put Modric on the left, Madueke on the right, or Palmer on the right, and then Conor Gallagher in the 10, although I don't want him there. But, you know, if you are going to play that, then yeah, maybe do that, because Sterling should not get a sniff in this team. I think he's moving like Vinicius. He's playing against the team. And if anything, he's holding the team back. He's not really offering anything. I don't even know when his last goal was or his last assist was. So, yeah, that's my opinion. But yeah, good win for Chelsea, and hopefully they'll continue to climb up that table.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially with the FA Cup, I think it's about time that you give the young guys, the guys that are gonna be our future, the ones that have the 8-year contracts, the run of the rope. Because I think Sterling's gonna be gone sooner rather than later. I think his time is at the club has run out. And when we do talk about my club next week in the special, which we'll talk more about towards the end of the show, I think he's a part of the woeful first transfer window, which I believe that no one from that first transfer window was successful. I do believe, and he's part of that, and I don't think he's been successful at our club. He's had some moments, but this season he let himself down. He's meant to be experienced, and he's moving like an 18-year-old. He's moving younger than the rest of these young G's. So, but we move to the big things. Title talk. Um, let's get the BS out the way. Let's get the BS out the way. Yep, it was a penalty at the end of the game. Yes, a man got kicked in the chest. Yes, VAR didn't check it because they don't check anything. They're too busy watching Simpsons episodes, and I'm talking about the old ones which were funny, or South Park, one of them shows there. But Liverpool can't blame the refs for this game. They gotta blame themselves. Now, without the clinicality of a fully fit Salah and Diego Jota, you relied on the likes of Diaz, or Nunez, and of that ilk to get the job done. And for once, I believe you dominated City in the second half. The first half was a bit even. I think City had the run of the ball. I think there were moments where they carved you open with their passing and their slick style, like they do every team. But that's going to happen. They're going to have moments. But City didn't come to play today. The second half, now, the first half, who scored first? Was it you or them?
I think it was they scored first, I think.
Oh yeah, the corner. Actually, that's another moment of BS that I forgot about. My bad. I'm the host of the least at that moment. But yeah, the second BS moment is that goal. That first goal shouldn't have stood. Defender blocking a player in an offside position yet again. One rule for one team, a different rule for others. And the Manchester club seems to have different rules. Why? Because we know where these referees are from. Anyway, I'm just saying. Don't shoot me, just shoot the game. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened. Just like I'm Booker T in this situation. Well, Liverpool was Booker T in this situation. They got screwed. Anyway, we move on. That first goal shouldn't have counted. And that was the only way they were going to score because their shooting boots weren't on and Haaland was doing a disappear act. I'm looking for him. I'm looking for him. I think he's over in the States. I think Brock Lesnar's daughter's over in the States because he wasn't on that pitch. Anyway, they get they were Harley goal from the header. But Liverpool come back, they get their goal. And for me, the second half, they just dominated. They dominated. This is the first time I've seen a team dominate City. And the fact is, they just didn't take their chances. They had too many chances to win this game for me. And I think for the first time, you saw City at a ground, the noise, the Anfield roar, the flashbacks of all the times that they've been there and lost. You saw City scared. They're not scared of Arsenal. They're scared of this team, Anfield. Yeah, they're not scared of the Emirates. Yeah, the light Emirates, but they are scared of Anfield. And Anfield is a place that most teams don't want to go. There are two places where these kind of feelings can exist: Anfield and the Bernabeu. Those are the two places. Early 04-05 Chelsea, when Stamford Bridge was a fortress under Jose. That's the last time I saw that in a club where a stadium you go, oof. I don't know what we're gonna do today because we know they're not letting us through. And that second half was breathtaking stuff. It was refreshing to see a team attack City the way they did, not to be cowards. But Diaz, too many chances missed. Nunes, he did well, but the fact of the matter is you didn't get that second goal, and the refs decided to do the Montreal screw job, the Anfield screw job at the end there. But you didn't take your chances in the second half, and this is football. We know that the refs ain't doing anything. VAR, them man are sleeping on the desk. If anything, if VAR, I need a new job, VAR hire me because I can do a better job than these man. Anyway, as I said, man, these refs needs to be moved to Ukraine, Estonia, all them places there, Eastern Europe, all over. Anyway, get us some foreign refs, or just get, you know what, just hire random people to do it, because I think they will do a better job of watching the screen and checking if it's a foul or not. Like, come on. A man got bro kicked in the chest, yeah? Doku Doku didn't know what he was doing. He said, I had a bad game, I got locked up, I was doing the jittery stuff. He said, not today. He said, this is Sparta. Bow. He said, this is why you call Belgium the Red Devils. Bow. You gotta laugh or you're gonna cry when it comes to these referees. But
It's true. It's so true. Oh man.
But yeah, no, Liverpool deserved to win the game, but they just didn't take their chances in that second half. And yeah, I think this is a momentum builder for them. I think in the end, both teams are happy with the draw. City are happy because they don't do well in Anfield, and I think Liverpool are happy because they're still up there. And we know what's coming up. City, Arsenal, and one of these teams got to drop points, and one of the teams are gonna X them off the title talk. Because remember, draws, losses, they're the same thing in the title race. And if Liverpool can get their job done on that weekend, all Liverpool have to do from then on is do their job. Keep winning, and keep winning. But forget about the ref stuff. We've talked about that enough. Forget about the first half. I just want to hear what you had to say, Luke Adonis, about that second half and that breathtaking display that Liverpool showed. And this game was A1 Premier League Barclays football. This is the kind of game that we, when Rock does the boost goosebumps, that's what you get goosebumps over. Yeah? Not you coming out. Yeah? That's goosebump stuff right there. Anyway. Oh yeah, and VAR, you're a walking clown emoji like Seth Rollins. Just got getting that in there.
Oh man, you know what? If anybody needed an example of what the Premier League is all about, tune in to Liverpool City matches. That's all you need to do. If any player was thinking about a decision on what league to transfer to, it doesn't matter the team in the Premier League. If you was just thinking about what league to go to, that match there is an example of where you need to go. Even managers, there's a lot of managers that's going to be on the market this season. That match is an example of why everyone talks about the Premier League being the greatest league in world football. From both teams, yet again, another chapter in our rivalry showcased why we are the top two teams in the league and why our matches are always magical. Now, yeah, I don't want to talk about the refereeing decisions because every single time when I'm doing this pod, I'm always talking about the refereeing decisions about Liverpool. And I think fans just need to accept that we're always going to get screwed by them. It started from that Diaz onside goal, not offside, and it's just been a compilation of ever since. So it is what it is. Like, we didn't get the pen, that's fine. Alright, cool. The goal stood for the corner kick, okay, fine, that's cool. It's not, but it is what it is. I'm used to getting screwed now by the refs. I'm just happy about the mentality of the players. They didn't let their head drop. This is a title deciding match, and they were able to find the mentality to get back in the game to make it 1-1 and should have won 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. I said last week on the pod, and it was a big statement. I said, I do not fear Man City. I said it. And Liverpool showed why I made that statement. I've said every single time on the pod, if you attack Man City, they crumble. They do not know what to do. What happened? That's exactly what happened. In the second half, they did not know what to do. I can't even say that's the first time because I've seen my team sex Man City. We done it in the Champions League in the semi-finals. Absolutely steamrolled them. We've done it numerous of times. So this isn't the first time that I've seen my team dominate Man City. But the domination in that second half should be a full 45-minute movie on Pornhub. Hardcore category. That's where it needs to be. Hardcore category. Because them man got pammed. Absolute pammed. They could not get out of their own half. That's how dominant we were. They were struggling. Absolutely struggling. As Margie said, they were scared. They did not know what to do. Kevin De Bruyne got pocketed by a 5'7", 5'8" Japanese brother to the point he got subbed and was cussing. This is what Endo's doing to Mandem, you know. Your world-class midfielder is getting pocketed by Endo, a 30-year-old. And you got subbed because you wasn't influential in the game. Man like Kwanzaa, a 19-year-old, is pocketing Haaland. Not Van Dijk. Kwanzaa, a 19-year-old, is pocketing Haaland. Haaland could even finish his 1v1 with Van Dijk. Doku didn't even do anything. Joe Gomez, lockdown. He didn't know what to do, Doku. Do you see that our midfield was so technical that we bossed Man City in that second half? And this is what pisses me off. We had to spend 7, 8, 9 years of Brexit football with Milner and Henderson in our midfield. But the minute we have technical ballers in our midfield, do you see how we were able to control Man City's midfield like that? Control. Amazing football. Now, I could insult Diaz. I could. And I should. But you know what? He was the one of few players that had the energy, the motivation, the will to 1v1 these players, to drive at these players, to skill Rodri like he wasn't even there. Their best midfielder, skilled. Kyle Walker spun on the floor, doing up Shaku on the beat on the floor. Yeah, Diaz needs to work on his end product, 100%. But Diaz was the live wire, the player that was trying to make things happen. Now, Nunes got subbed. Would I have subbed him off? No, because Gakpo didn't do anything. If it was me, I probably would have subbed off Diaz because he didn't have the end product to finish. He had 2, 3, 4 big chances, especially the 1v1, and he didn't take them. So I probably would have subbed him off and put Gakpo on and asked Gakpo to play left and drift in like he likes to, and still keep Nunes, because you still need that threat of the pace, driving. You could tell Diaz was tired. He didn't have the pace on him, the burners on him to continue on. And by the time it did get to the end product, you could tell he was fatigued. That's why he probably was making stupid mistakes. So yeah, in the summer, I want us to go out in the summer and get a winger that's clinical, because you can't always rely on Salah all the time. But yeah, I'm proud of the performance. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the fact that we turn up at Anfield. I'm proud of the fact that people were able to see that Man City can get had and that they're not having a good season. That when they come up against a decent team, a good team that know that how to transition quickly, how to attack, that's not always going to defend and allow City to have the ball. They got to see the real Man City. And that should be a blueprint for any team going up Man City. I've always said this. Watch Liverpool City games, because we will show teams how to actually dominate and potentially beat Man City. And we did it again. So yeah, fantastic. I'm not happy with the point because we should have won. And yes, we got screwed. But ultimately, I'd rather have a point than drop points. Because in the title race, every point counts. Every draw counts. Every win counts. We managed to get the draw. Now it's over to Arsenal. And Arsenal do the exact same thing. They're good at transition, Arsenal are. They probably don't have the midfield to battle Man City, but they are good in transition. And they're good on the counter-attack. So, will they be able to do what Liverpool did? Maybe not. Maybe they do. But for me, my decision is this, or my opinion is this to close. If Arsenal beat Man City, I dip Arsenal to win the league. I do. Because the exact same confidence that Arsenal managed to beat Liverpool and use that momentum to go on the run that they are on right now. No coincidence. The minute they beat Liverpool, that's allowed them to do what they're doing now. What is going to happen if Arsenal beat Man City at the Emirates? No, not at the Emirates, at the Etihad. That confidence of beating City at the Etihad is going to be so astronomical that will definitely carry them the momentum to go on and win the league. However, if Man City beat Arsenal, Liverpool will win the league. And I'm saying it here. I don't think City will win the league. I think City are just the team that's going to be the title decider. So the one that's going to cause problems between us and Arsenal. That match alone showed that they're not in the title race. They're not. It's a big statement that I'm making, but it's a true statement that I'm making. And I don't think that City, because they're not on good form, because they're not doing so well this season, yeah, we can say, oh, City will turn it on. But City tends to turn it on around December. We're now in March. City normally are on, what, a 20-game win streak by now? They're not even on that right now. That's the difference between the City of last year to the City this year. Completely different. However, Liverpool have got a new midfield and they're using that momentum of Klopp leaving as a motivating factor. The fortress of Anfield as well is another motivating factor. Arsenal are using the hurt of not winning the league last year as a motivating factor. They have a point to prove this year. And by God, they are proving it. We cannot discount Arsenal this season. As much as I enjoy bantering them, we can't discount them. We can't.
Yes, we can. No, I'm joking.
That, as I said, if they lose to City, then we win the league. But if they beat City, they win the league. And I'm gonna end on that note.
Yeah, 3 points to add before we move on to the CL and Europe. First thing, I don't ever want my legends or the legends that are Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes to be disrespected, and for spicy David Beckham, I'm talking about UKDB, to be talked with the greats. Because in the big games, the big moments, you disappear. In the Champions League final against us, Rudiger hit you with one shoulder, you disappeared. The last final you won, you disappeared. For Belgium, in the big tournaments, you disappear. And this game this week, you disappear. Big players don't disappear when they're needed most. So De Bruyne, start showing up more. Yeah, you spicy David Beckham. Just know, in a real man's era, you be on the right mid, fam. Just whipping in balls, because that's what you can do. You ain't no CM. Because if you were with the dogs of Vieira, Lampard, and them man there, you'd be getting eaten up, you little puppy, you little crybaby, crying on the bench. Anyway, second thing, if Liverpool need a gunman, don't look no further than Ivan Toney. I think him off the bench would be perfect for Liverpool. Third thing, yes, we can dismiss Arsenal because we're at the big stage now. Arsenal need to put on their big boy pants. It's last 10 games. They're top of the table. They got all the metrics. And now we're going to really see if Arsenal can walk the walk. Because they keep talking the talk. But can they walk the walk? And speaking of walking the walk, we move onto CL. Champions League. And now, me and Luke speak that fluently. 8 between us. Some teams don't even have one.
Arsenal.
But what we do have is the draw now. Now, we will talk about the CL draw. Before we talk about the CL draw, give a quick mention to the Europa League draw, because I think Liverpool got blessed by the gods. Because on the other side are the Romas, the Leverkusens, and I think it was Milan or something like that. Another big team on the other side. Liverpool got blessed. And I think they're making it all the way to the final. And I think they'll be the team to stop the undefeated Leverkusen. Because the reason Leverkusen are undefeated, because they've never faced a team like Liverpool. And Liverpool, to be honest, for me, if they win the Champions League, they'd be favourites for that too. They'd be up there for that too. So, you know, I just like everyone to be thankful that they're not in Champions League right now. They're doing up Europa League drip. Because I think, was it number 7 would be on the way. Number 7 would have been on the way. Anyway, But anything you want to say on Europa League, or you just want to get straight to the CL?
No. Look, the Sparta Prague manager said it clear as day. Liverpool are a Champions League team which should not be in the Europa League, and it's evident. You can't slap a team 11-2 on aggregate. That's just disrespectful. Hella disrespectful. So for me, we shouldn't be in this competition at all. But ultimately, we are. And it is what it is. I accept that. Now, the draw is favourable. We're up against Atalanta. We shouldn't disrespect them because it was only a couple years ago that they were on a serious run. And they were doing very well. They were the surprise packages of the Sierra are playing fantastic football. So we can't discredit them. But ultimately, the draw is favourable. We're probably not going to see Leverkusen until the final if they do make the final. And for me, I think it puts us in a good stead, 100%. The teams currently in there, I think, are decent teams. They've got CL pedigree, but I just think our team is just too strong and too good to not win the competition. And I actually want to see us come up against Leverkusen in the final. Not to say that David Moyes' men won't do well. They probably will beat Leverkusen. We just don't know. We're just talking about hypothetics. But I think for me, if we do make the final, we should win that. But I actually want to see Alonso in a final. And the reason why I want to see Alonso in a final because it will be a good audition to see whether he is capable of managing Liverpool. If he were to lose, then okay, cool. It's not that I'm judging him because again, as I said, we are a CL team, and on the day we're probably just too strong for him. But if he loses by a fat margin, and I mean a battering us 3-4 to 5-0, then I'd probably be thinking, are you good enough for the job? Is it a fluke this season that you're moving mad with Bayer Leverkusen because nobody don't know how to manage against you? But if they were to beat us in a final, I just say, you know what, Alonso, you need to come in ASAP because to me, you've positioned yourself to know that tactically you're better than Klopp in that moment, and it will allow me to think, okay, Liverpool are in good hands if you were to make the jump to the Premier League. So this final, if we do make it to the final, is going to be very interesting if Bayer Leverkusen is there because a lot of eyes are going to be looking at not Liverpool. A lot of eyes are going to be looking at Alonso to see whether or not if he's fully capable of matching Klopp, let alone beating Klopp, and it will see whether or not if he's worthy of replacing Klopp at Liverpool. So yeah, but yeah, the draw's good. I think all of the teams that are in there currently now and the matches that are in place are decent matches and probably must-see matches as well. So yeah, everybody's got decent draws. No draw is obviously gonna be easy. I think all the draws that are there is actually decent ones, especially the Milan Roma one. That one should be a good one because it's Italians against each other. They've played each other numerous of times, so that should be a real good watch. But yeah, Liverpool's positioning themselves well, and yeah. But let's move on to that CL baby because it's
Yeah.
a rivalry renewed.
couple quick things. Another uh ECL that we need to talk about before we go into the big thing. Conference League, Aston Villa against Lille. I hope they win it all. I think good Mr. Good Evening knows how to win tournaments, so I hope they win it all. And you got good luck to them. And you know what? Looking at these Europa League fixtures, my bad. I don't mean to disrespect, but West Ham, the way they won their game on Thursday, and Kudus' goal. Ramadan Kudos. That's Ramadan Kudos. Man ran through the whole team. Man said, "It's on me, coach. It's on me." The amount of teams that are looking at him and saying we could have signed him for 30 mil. Yeah. Hey, Ten Hag. Is Anthony better? Thank you, Ten Hag.
You know, Ten Hag used to bench Kudos for Anthony at
Yeah.
Ajax. Can you imagine? I want him to replace Mohamed Salah when Salah goes. I'm not gonna lie.
I think yeah, the likes of him. If Elise wasn't injury prone, he'd be up there as well, and Pedro
Hmm.
Neto if he wasn't injury prone as well. But yeah,
And Diaby
it's a
at Villa.
yeah, it's a very interesting Europa League. Okay, Liverpool, Atlanta, Benfica, Marseille. Now we can't disrespect Benfica. They're a big European team. Portuguese heritage against Marseille. That's gonna be interesting. Obama Yang, Obama who, Obama Wa, Obama yeah. And yeah, man. The other side, Milan, Roma, Italian versus Italian. That's just fights on the streets right there. Milano versus Roma. They need more police for those games. And yeah, West Ham, Leverkusen. It's gonna be a fun Europa League. I'm looking at these teams and I'm thinking some of these could be in Champions League and you wouldn't even bat your eye at it. And some could be at Conference League, but you know, neither here nor there. But we move now. Before we talk about the what I like to call the main event side of the draw, let's give some love to one side of the draw. First game of the draw, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund. Jadon Sancho's redemption arc versus Simeone. Ian Matson doing up drip drip shaku shaku versus Greasy Greasy. And Atletico, they know the dark art. When you talk about a team, you know who I wanted Arsenal to face? I wanted Arsenal to face them. Because when you talk about a team that knows the dark arts, Simeone's Atletico Madrid know the darkest of arts possible. Now that's going to be an interesting match. It's German it's German high-paced football versus the darkest of arts. That's going to be an interesting matchup. That's matchup one. That's spicy.
Mm.
Now, in the next game, which I like to call the Neymar derby, because they both had Neymar, but is Neymar there because he's off in Saudi? PSG versus Barcelona. Now, PSG, this is the Mbappe farewell tour. So this is the last chance to get his hometown team a Champions League, and he's got the path to do it. Mbappe, it's time to step up. It's time to be that leader. Barcelona aren't the same team they once were. They're with a Xavi that's time is running out for him. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that matchup goes. You got the youngsters on both teams, Zaya Emery versus Yamal. It's gonna be the youth prospect, future prospect against one another. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a matchup that I'm gonna be excited to see. And I think with these matchups in the Champions League for once, like last season matchups, some of them were a bit dry biscuit. But you know, the serious teams got through. Outside of maybe Inter over Atleti, it could have gone either way. But that's another good matchup. Now we get to the spicy side. Now we get
I
to the
think that's
spicy.
I think that's the third time Barca and PSG have faced each other in the knockouts as well.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting that side of the draw. I'm gonna be watching that. I'm gonna watch it, but let's talk about the realness. Now the English teams decided. Now we know they were gonna get screwed because English teams always get the bad side of the draw. But uh not only did they get screwed, they got befuddled. All I'm gonna say is Hala Madrid, and that's what Man City got. When you talk about the team with European heritage, more trophies than probably the rest of the teams on their side of the group combined, because Arsenal got zero. But Real Madrid, Man City, we're talking about royalty versus Arab sheiks. We're talking about the Spanish giants versus the team that's been dominating England all these years. It's Pep against the old rival. You know, it would have been interesting to see City go back to Barcelona. That would have been a lovely storyline, but nah, he's facing the old rival. Unfortunately, and Don Carlo. Don Carlo versus Pep. This is the tactical masterclass that we need to see on live TV. When we talk about Champions League, this is what we want to see. This is what we want to see. And finally, The biggest game of the draw. No, I'm joking. That last game's the biggest game. Right? This is the biggest game of the draw to me. Arsenal versus Bayern. Now, here are the three previous results: 5-1 Bayern, 5-1 Bayern, and 5-1 Bayern. The ghost of Harry Kane. The ghost of Harry Kane has come back around to North London, and he loves to play against Arsenal. He's like Drogba, man. He loves to play against Arsenal. And Arsenal Bayern, this is interesting because Bayern haven't been good this season. If anything, Leverkusen look like the Champions League team and Bayern look like the Europa League team this season. But the one thing we know about Tuchel is he's tactical and he knows how to get to a CL final. He's done it twice. He's the only man to do it with PSG, and he won me my second trophy. So, Tuchel, thank you. Thank you for your services for Chelsea Football Club. But this is the time where Arsenal are going to have to step up. Because even if they get past Bayern, let's say they get past Bayern, they're going to have to face City in Madrid. Now, if they can get through that their boys have to turn to men. And this is the first test. The demons of the past. The demons. Now, for all you Arsenal fans saying, yes, Bayern, we want that. We want the smoke. You don't want the smoke. Because the second leg is away. That means in the first leg, you have to get something. Because if you leave with a draw, or you leave with a slender lead, that second half. And the one thing we also have to add is the Bayern fans aren't allowed at Emirates Stadium. Because of what they did in their last game. So they're banned from the home leg. So the home leg you got to represent. The Ashburton army, you got to be there. You got to be treating it like it's real Europe. I'm talking about flares. I'm talking about flags. I'm talking about singing. You can't be a library. You can't be Highbury Emirates the library. No. It's got to be loud. It's got to be proud. Because the second leg, that's when we're going to see if you're real or not. If you're a new Arsenal. Because that second leg at the Allianz Arena, that's the Dragons Den. That's when the Germans are going to be loud, they're going to be proud, and you're going to have the do. That CL is going to hit, and those players are going to have to become men. They can't be little boys no more. They got to turn up. We can't be saying where is Bakayo. We can't be doing that.
Yeah.
We can't be seeing Martinelli in the favelas. No, we can't be doing that. Havertz has to show up. Like, he has to show up big time. 65 million worth, he's got to be there. Gabriel Jesus, he can't be in the favelas either. Them two men can't be in the favelas chilling, doing shaku. Every player has to show. Odegaard has to be Captain Fantastic. I'm talking about Super Odegaard. The defense has to be elite. And that goalkeeper Raya has to be worth every penny. Now, what he did in the last round, bravo. Big penalty saves against Porto, well done. But this is when the real stuff starts. And this is the season starts now. 10 games left, City away, and Bayern in the Champions League. And this is where Arsenal need to become boys to men. Now, that's what for me, these are great fixtures. I think both the Champions League and Europa League are delicioso right now. And as someone who's just watching from the outside, I'm getting good meals. I'm eating. As far as I'm concerned, I'm eating good. We eating good. We eating good. And it's Ramadan, but we eating good. Yeah. We eating good. But after 6, just know, in the evening times when it's dark out, we eating good, because Champions League nights is gonna be dark. Dark for you, Arsenal. Now, do I believe Arsenal can get past Bayern? Yes, I do. I do believe they have a chance to get past Bayern. Will they get past the semis? Probably not. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's a step too far. But if they do, they have no choice but to win the final, because there's no team on the other side of the final that they should be afraid of, in my opinion. If they get through this fire, if they get through the flames, if they get through the torture chamber, they're playing the 3 stages of hell. And the third stage is the easy stage. That's first stage, Bayern. Second stage, Hala Madrid or big Manchester City. Third stage, they may get some light work, or they may probably most likely will come up against the dark horse of Atletico. Because I think it's about time that they get back to the final as well. So if they go through those three stages, hell, and win the CL, I'm gonna clap for them. But that's enough of me rambling. Luke, what do you think about this meal of games that we have coming up in the CL? What are your thoughts, and who do you believe are the favourites now? Now you've seen the draw. Who's moved up in terms of positioning? Because one side of the draw is very favourable for some teams. And who do you think is going to make it to the final? What two teams do you think is going to make it to the final?
I mean, just like the Europa League, the Champions League draws are looking tasty. This is the first time that I'm actually gassed about the knockout stage in a very long time. Last year's was woeful, but this is a tasty clash. We got old rivalries renewed in PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City, Arsenal, Bayern, the thickest of rivalries, the banter rivalries, the TL rivalry. And I'm looking forward to every single game. You know, this is what I live for. This is what I like, you know, solid football fixtures like this. And Arsenal's got the tools to win. There's no doubt about that at all. Tuchalaban is Tuchalaban for a reason. He's got that name for a reason. Because this season he's been bombing up the place. However, in the CL somehow he's been doing well. And he's done it before. And he could very well do it again. Bayern Munich have the pedigree, they've got the heritage against Arsenal. You know, they own them every single time, every single CL. But it could be different this year because this Arsenal is an Arsenal that's got the identity, that's got the players to go. They've got the belief, they've got the mentality, and their defense is a lot better than previous seasons. But Bayern do have Harry Kane, and that is the decisive factor. They've got a clinical striker, whereas Arsenal don't. You know, they got a striker that knows them very well. They got a striker that's got the best record against Arsenal than any other striker outside of obviously Didier Drogba. So I think for me, this fixture is probably the standout fixture out of all of the draws because the whole TL is going to be watching this fixture. Um, Can Arsenal go on? They probably could, as I said. Is Bayern the immovable object? Yeah, they are. But it depends on which Bayern turns up, really and truly. And I think the home advantage that Arsenal have currently, they need to at least get a 1-0 or a 2-0 win. They cannot allow Bayern Munich to go to the Allianz Arena and have an away goal or a goal because ultimately we all know what's going to happen when you go to the German ground. So they need to ice Bayern Munich differently. But I'm happy with these draws, honestly. I think Atletico is probably the dark horse to go on and win. I agree with Marju. It's about time that Atletico return back to the final. I remember that final, I think it was in 2015, I believe, where they played against Real Madrid, and that was a fantastic final. So it'll be good to see them there again. Can it be a Madrid derby again in a final? That would be fantastic. Can it be a Real Madrid versus Barcelona final? That could be fantastic as well. You know, there's so many options. Can it be a Man City versus Barcelona? Pep versus his old team in a final. There's so many storylines, and that's what's so great about this draw. That whoever gets to the final just sets up perfectly for so many storylines, so much rivalry between all the clubs that's involved. You know, it really does set up perfectly. Again, if City beat Real Madrid and Arsenal beat Bayern, you know, Arteta against his master, Pep Guardiola, can the protege beat his master to get to the final? Like every single match is just fantastic. This is a fantastic CL draw. Do I know or who's gonna get to the final? I don't, to be honest. I know that's a cop out, but I actually don't. Can I pick? If I could, I probably would say I'd want Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. That's what I want to be the final. Is it gonna happen? We don't know because football history, football, it matters what happens on the day. And if you set up tactically right on the day, that will be how it will unfold. So I think people just need to sit back, have their feet up, and just enjoy and scroll through that Twitter feed because if Arsenal are losing 1-0, 2-0, just know that the bants are going to be flying. And I know me and Marjorie are going to be laughing all the way through. So, yeah, man, that's all I got to say. But again, European football this season is setting up to be, as Marjorie said, delicioso. So, yeah, man, I like it. I like both competition draws right now. This is probably the best football season that we've had in a very long time. And yeah, I'm liking how the end of the season is shaping up right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Very very interesting because there's so many players that are looking for the redemption. So many managers that are on their last legs. I think with Tuchel and Bayern, depending on what they are in the league, if this is the only thing that they can win, I think Tuchel's gonna go all out to win the CL because that might be the only thing that saves him his job. I also would like to see Matson and Jaden Sancho against the El Terrorism and see how they do against that club. Because low blocks are difficult to play against, and I think Dortmund at is good. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see who gets. You know what? Another interesting one would be if PSG Real Madrid make the final, because it'll be Mbappe against his new club. And is he gonna, man, gonna do the disappearing act, like at half time, take off the shirt on a la Madrid? Imagine that first time ever. Man's gonna change his shirt half time. That's the entertainment we need. Anyway, no. The reality is, for me, I think the best final would be a Madrid derby. But the second best final for me would be Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. Because I want the most pain. I want Arsenal to get all the way to the final. All the way to the final. Thinking that, yeah, they got through the fire. They got Atletico Madrid. And Mr. Dark Hearts himself does the same thing. I want someone to reenact the Chiellini to Saka moment in that game. They got the man to do it. Come back here, Makayo. I need that. The people need that. And that should be the photo of the thumbnail of everyone's review of the Champions League final. No, I'm joking. I think Arsenal have as many I think every team has a chance to get to the final. I think this is the most unpredictable it's been in time because outside of I would say Madrid and City, I don't think there are many elite teams in Europe at the moment. Every team in Europe is a bit wishy-washy. Dortmund aren't the best in Germany. Bayern aren't either. Atletico aren't the best in Spain. Barca, PSG, PSG's French league is not really anything that PSG for me in the French league aren't tested. So I think that's another major reason why certain players shouldn't go to the French league because if you're not tested week in week out, when you come to the CL, you're not going to be ready for that intensity when it comes to the later rounds. That's why I think English clubs do well because they get tested week in week out. There's no days off, for the English teams, and I think that's why they do so well in Europe. Only team that didn't get through was Brighton. Now, obviously they came up against a Roma side that got the job done in the first league, so it is what it is. But for the CL, it's going to be great. It's going to be interesting. But that's the show. That is Hold That episode 29. Hold that to all the teams that got knocked out of Europe. Hold that to all the teams that aren't in Europe watching from the outside. I know I'm one of them. I'm watching from the outside, but we're eating good. Hold that to the teams that lost on the weekend.
I do want to say this though.
Go ahead.
The fact that Brighton did get knocked out, I don't want to see De Zerbi in my shortlist for manager. I don't. He shouldn't even be in a shortlist for Chelsea. We are elite teams who should be challenging week in, week out in the Premier League and in Europe. Obviously, Chelsea is not in that category right now, but we all know why. But normally they are. I do not want to see De Zerbi in that shortlist, and I'm sick and tired of seeing tweets saying Liverpool and Chelsea are battling for De Zerbi. No, we're not. We know who we want. Alonso is number one, and that Amori guy at Sporting is number two. Nagelsmann is number three. I do not want to see De Zerbi there. Tactically, he's proven that he's not with it. He's not. I'm not discrediting Roma, but Roma has had a manager change because they haven't been performing well. How are you getting outclassed like that? How are you getting outclassed by another Italian? You're meant to be better than him because you've been managing a lot longer than De Rossi. But Roma beat you. I do not want to see his name in that shortlist. He is not capable of managing a top team. Graham Potter proved it. He is just a Graham Potter. Every single week, Brighton is coming out in inconsistent performances, getting slapped by Luton, but yet beating, I don't know, like a Burnley. But then the following week, getting slapped by a Tottenham, but then going on to beat a Chelsea. I don't want to see that type of inconsistency. If a manager like him is being rumoured to a big club, I need man to be delivering week in and week out. Tactically in every single game, if you're coming up against a big team, be pragmatic. Don't be expansive. Don't. And that's why people like Ange Postecoglou is inconsistent at Tottenham, because when it comes to playing against the big six, he's always expansive. He is never pragmatic. Tactically, you need to know when to play this type of football and when you just need to sit back and play on the counter attack. That's what you need to do. You don't have the players to play expansive. Defensively, Brighton are shocking. As a manager, you should be able to manage your defense. You're Italian, bro. Italian. I expect defense to be your number one priority and then attack. But at Brighton are shipping goals like willy-nilly. I do not want to see this guy on my shortlist, and I do not want to see him managing my club. I'm pretty sure Margie's probably the same as well. He probably don't want to see him on the shortlist and managing his club. So stop rumouring this brother to my team, bruv. Stop. I'm sick and tired of it. That's all I gotta say.
Um, my thoughts aren't the same because it's anybody but Poch. I'm gonna lie to you. Bring back Lampard over Poch at this stage. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? For me, bring back Lampard over Poch. I'd bring anyone over Poch right now because the way he is in second halves is disgusting. I think the thing about De Zerbi is I think he needs a couple years to cook with Brighton. I think he needs a couple years to get some players into to. I don't think he's ready yet. The same I think with Jabi Alonso and as well. I don't think they're ready for the big move yet. They're being linked to, but they're not ready yet. It's like Graham Potter was linked to big jobs, but he wasn't ready yet. He wasn't ready for that big step because he just needed more time to cook in the kitchen. Sometimes with these managers, you gotta treat them as if they're when these new managers, you gotta treat them like they're prospects. They haven't had enough. They haven't had enough years in under the belt for you to say if they're good or not. And the thing about De Zerbi is he's not a bad manager. He's just dealt with a lot of injuries and a lot of extra stuff with Brighton, and they can't handle playing that expensive style every game, week in week out. He needs to learn. A lot of these young managers are still learning, but when you look at like a Ruben Almarin or a Sergio Conceição or these kind of managers, they've been there, done that. They've won leagues in their country. They've been around the block for a bit. They've gone through European nights. They've had the big games, the big occasions, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to certain managers, I just think they need time. That's why Jabi Alonso shouldn't move yet. I think he needs 2-3 seasons before he moves, personally. because we've seen managers have one great season. There's a difference. Like even if you look at let's say a Jose, he had 2-3 years before he moved. He won back-to-back trebles in Porto before he moved to Chelsea and did what he did. Back-to-back trebles, one with the Europa League or UEFA Cup. I think it was UEFA Cup at the time, and then it's next season with the Champions League. He did something special to get the big move, and that's what these managers need to do. They need to do something special to get the big move. Now, if Jabby wins the title this season, that's something special. Maybe you can give it a circumstance. But there's a difference between winning a title and there's a difference between retaining it. Klopp hasn't done it. There's only a few managers in the league that's done that. Pep, Jose, Ferguson. Wenger never retained it. So for me, I think Liverpool are better off getting someone short term and then looking at Xabi Alonso in the future. I think he should stay at Leverkusen, but that's me. But I digress. That's something we can talk about another day. As I was saying earlier about our next episode is going to be a special episode. We're talking about the $1 billion Blues. We're talking about Bowley's Blues. We're talking about my club, and we're going to dissect top to bottom the club because it's international break, so nothing's happening. And then the week after that, we'll divulge into the manager merry-go-round and talk about who's going to go where, because I think it's going to be maybe another week of not that many games, so not much to discuss, but we'll discuss the manager merry-go-round the week after that as well. I think it's about time we talk about that as well. But, as I said, hold that to all the teams that lost, all the teams that got knocked out in Europe, including Brighton. And yeah, man, Europe is looking interesting. The title talk is getting to the boiling point. Oh, and hold that Gareth Southgate. Ben White said, yeah, no, I'm not coming round. He said, not even thinking about pick me. More players need to do that so we can get rid of him. Because I'll be honest with you, if I'm an England fan and as a man that lives in this country, I would like to see the country win a tournament so I can celebrate. I want to be in the party atmosphere, you know? That's why if the men won the Euros or a World Cup, I think we should get a week holiday and it'll be party time. I think that's what should happen. That's what I need. I need a week holiday and party time. Yeah? That's all I want. Party. Because you saw that the celebrations that were happening in Argentina when they won the World Cup. They were off for a whole month. They're still partying. Man, hearing all the Argentina ballers are going over to the camp, even if they're not selected, just to party. Aguero's right there, right now. He's ready. Tequila on deck, anyway. But yeah, man. Gareth Southgate, you're a clown emoji as well. Still picking Henderson after he got voodoo banged. He got voodoo banged with Ajax. Man got draped up in the streets. Yeah, man got taken out, and you bring him around. That's haram football right there. Harambe football. We got a third terrorist. Tuchel, Poch, and Southgate. They're terrorizing my eyes right now because I'm tired of watching it. But Tuchel terrorized Arsenal. And that's how we're going to finish on. Arsenal, it's time to become boys to men. Because it's looking like it's going to be the end of the road. Yeah, I got bars. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I'm going to clap myself for that one. That's cold. That's a cold line to end. Oh, that show, episode 29. And we out.